I'm just trying to touch a milli, I'm a addy dropper. Cause on my mama we get busy. Another man down in my city. Brody Chopper got a red dot and some titties. I ain't with the drama. I'm just trying to touch a milli, I'm a addy dropper. Cause on my mama we get busy. Plug pull up with the pack and I ain't even bust it down. Couple minutes on my phone, I promise I'm gon' get it gone. I stay solid, I get caught, I'm fighting till they sit me down. You get caught, you singing like a nigga in the studio. Brody sold the whip for 1,000 cause we just slid in it. I really make a house call, fuck if your kids in it. Been through some shit, that's why my heart too froze. You ain't living what you rapping in a studio. You get your noodle blown, fucking with the opposition. My brother making decisions on anybody that's dissing. With the quickness, I'ma make a decision, I'm on a mission. You tripping, thinking we missing, I'm shooting up with precision. Red beam on the barrel to give myself some assistance. My brother come through like sniper, he knock you off from a distance. Big foe with no foe, I'm balling just like a piston. We get the... Damn, heard it's another man down in my city. Brody Chopper got a red dot and some titties. I ain't with the drama. I'm just trying to touch a milli, I'm a addy dropper. Cause on my mama we get busy. Another man down in my city. Brody Chopper got a red dot and some titties. I ain't with the drama. I'm just trying to touch a milli, I'm a addy dropper. Cause on my mama we get busy. Plug pull up with the pack and I ain't even bust it down. Couple minutes on my phone, I promise I'm gon' get it gone. I stay solid, I get caught, I'm fighting till they sit me down. You get caught, you singing like a nigga in the studio. Brody sold the whip for 1,000 cause we just slid in it. I really make a house call, fuck if your kids in it. Been through some shit, that's why my heart too froze. You ain't living what you rapping in a studio. You get your noodle blown, fucking with the opposition. My brother making decisions on anybody that's dissing. With the quickness, I'ma make a decision, I'm on a mission. You tripping, thinking we missing, I'm shooting up with precision. Red beam on the barrel to give myself some assistance. My brother come through like sniper, he knock you off from a distance. Big foe with no foe, I'm balling just like a piston. We get the... Damn, heard it's another man down in my city. Brody Chopper got a red dot and some titties. I ain't with the drama. I'm just trying to touch a milli, I'm a addy dropper. Cause on my mama we get busy. Another man down in my city. Brody Chopper got a red dot and some titties. I ain't with the drama. I'm just trying to touch a milli, I'm a addy dropper. Cause on my mama we get busy. Plug pull up with the pack and I ain't even bust it down. Couple minutes on my phone, I promise I'm gon' get it gone. I stay solid, I get caught, I'm fighting till they sit me down. You get caught, you singing like a nigga in the studio. Brody sold the whip for 1,000 cause we just slid in it. I really make a house call, fuck if your kids in it. Been through some shit, that's why my heart too froze. You ain't living what you rapping in a studio. You get your noodle blown, fucking with the opposition. My brother making decisions on anybody that's dissing. With the quickness, I'ma make a decision, I'm on a mission. You tripping, thinking we missing, I'm shooting up with precision. Red beam on the barrel to give myself some assistance. My brother come through like sniper, he knock you off from a distance. Big foe with no foe, I'm balling just like a piston. We get the... Damn, heard it's another man down in my city. Brody Chopper got a red dot and some titties. I ain't with the drama. I'm just trying to touch a milli, I'm a addy dropper. Cause on my mama we get busy. Another man down in my city. Brody Chopper got a red dot and some titties. I ain't with the drama. I'm just trying to touch a milli, I'm a addy dropper. Cause on my mama we get busy. Plug pull up with the pack and I ain't even bust it down. Couple minutes on my phone, I promise I'm gon' get it gone. I stay solid, I get caught, I'm fighting till they sit me down. You get caught, you singing like a nigga in the studio. Brody sold the whip for 1,000 cause we just slid in it. I really make a house call, fuck if your kids in it. Been through some shit, that's why my heart too froze. You ain't living what you rapping in a studio. You get your noodle blown, fucking with the opposition. My brother making decisions on anybody that's dissing. With the quickness, I'ma make a decision, I'm on a mission. You tripping, thinking we missing, I'm shooting up.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the El Nino Podcast. I'm Eladio Nino, and this is Real Everyday People. So, got to let you guys know that December 15th is the date that I'm going to have my second annual El Nino Podcast reunion. Going to be off the hook again at 1211 Trumbull at the DHDC. It's going to be super dope. We got all the dope exclusive vendors, everybody you can think of, from Dre, Sneak Heat. We're going to have Tammy's Patties there, Guys Pizza, Mikey's Cocina, and so many more dope-ass vendors there. And we got some exclusive performers that are going to be there. So December 15th, mark it in your calendars. Make sure you guys come through. And for anybody, small business, big business, street business, whatever business you got going on, if you guys want to be promoted during that event, I'm accepting donations and sponsorships. So reach out to me, get with me. We'll put you on the banners, and I'll do promotions. And also, I'm going to be taking a break for the months of December and January, because I need some mental space right now. You know what I'm saying? Just to give myself a break. I've been going at it for 3 years straight and strong, and I just want to give myself a break so I can catch up with myself. But definitely going to be back in 2024 strong. We're going to do November, and we're going to kill it as always. We got my man, a good friend of mine here. Glad that he accepted the invite. Brother got a lot of knowledge, got a lot to say. He's very inspirational, man. You know what I'm saying? When you're a source of power for people and advice, you know, sometimes you need somebody, you know, to inspire you. And this guy, man, every time I'm around here, man, this guy is always kicking game and always positive, always building, man. Welcome to the El Nino Podcast, my man, James. What's up with you, brother?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me on, man.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it, man. I was excited, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because
sure.
everybody.
We talked about it.
Yeah, but a lot of people just be like, you know, yeah, I would like to, but I don't know how I'm going to do it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm more of a person, I just go and do it.
Absolutely.
I don't like to talk about it. I'm more of a person of action.
Yup, and everything happened. The stars lined up for us, man. You know, everything happens in due time, man.
It's a process. Everything's a process in life.
Absolutely, man. So that's what we're here to talk about is your process, how your process has been, your journey, everything you've been through, the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, and the ugly, man. Talk to them. Let them know who you are, what it is, and what it ain't.
So my name's James. I'd say more in my professional career. I started probably about 14, 15. I started doing restoration. So a family friend, a good friend of mine, was doing restoration, and I was in high school, summertime. They were like, we'll give you $15 an hour cash. And I said, bet, I'm there.
So you talking about like going up in cribs and, you know, yeah.
It was during a time where there was a flood. You remember that flood happened where 696 and like the whole city flooded? It was like
when did this
2014, 2015.
Yeah, I was in prison. I don't think
there was a huge flood. And, like, I mean, there's enormous amount of jobs. So we were getting subcontracts from Jarvis. I mean, any type of, like, restoration company. So we were the subs. And, you know, you're day one. So I'm day one showing up. There's basements underwater. We're just going in there with sub pumps. Just
you love that shit, didn't you? Dog, you smiling ear to ear right now telling this story, bro. You love that shit.
If you had no money in your pocket and they're like, here's 15
Dog, you one of them kids like to play in the mud, ain't you, bro? Hell no.
I mean, you got to get your hands dirty, you know, at first if you don't know anything. So we started doing demos, fire, restoration, everything, taking stuff out, throwing it in the dumpster. And then they also started doing the, the improvements. So we'd rehab them also. Okay. So you'd start with demo, and then once you got good enough, they kept me around, started learning how to do the drywall. So you're cutting up 36, 48 inches on the walls, putting the insulation back. You know, electricians are coming, so now you're trying to, you know, I'm a young kid, so I'm trying to soak game from everyone. You know, I'm trying to say, hey, how you do that? So you learn how to wire stuff up. So basically everything I learned from that. And then I've always smoked weed and shit. So, like, I took my inspiration was the cannabis, and I took my construction, and I just started doing my own little growth.
This guy done took off.
You
my
know?
dog.
So I took that, started learning from a family friend again how to grow, start growing. Just little stuff. We were growing intense at that time. So, I mean, it was...
yeah, no doubt about it.
We're talking a few pounds maybe on some stuff. But the principle was I was learning how to do everything. So he basically gave me his standardized operation procedures. Even though we were small, he was definitely craft. So, like, everything we were producing, we were selling. You know, it was a demand for a product we had. So there'd be times where we didn't have it. And, you know, that's a good thing.
So let's talk about the risks, the highs, the lows, the pros and cons of growing. Being a grower, learning, you know, like you said, at an early age, you know, but there's a science to this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not just plant the seed, water it, and watch it grow. Right. Mickey Mouse type shit. You know what I'm saying? I've got, you know, a few friends, including you, and I've learned a little bit from each and everybody. I would not want to be a grower. I am good on growing because it's a lot that goes into a lot of nurturing, a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy, a lot of caring, and a lot of risk. You know what I'm saying? Because shit don't always go your way, bro. And I've heard so many times different stories of obstacles and challenges that people went through simply over the temperature of the room, or, you know, or a male and a female plant, or, you know what I'm saying? Like I've heard, like, you know, I mean, initially, like, I even knew people who quit their jobs to be full-time growers because at one point it was so profitable, bro. And then shit happened, you know what I mean? And everything plummeted, you know what I mean? Prices, the value, everything. Like, so many people were folding up shop, man. And it was like there was so many people who had invested so much money, some people life savings, thinking that, you know, growing weed was going to be it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much that goes into one crop. You know what I mean? So to lose it to seeds, or, you know, get mites or something like that, like, how do you prepare for them challenges and them obstacles?
Right. Well, I mean, you got to base it too. Also, it is agriculture. So a lot of people look at it from a street sense versus just looking at it as like an agricultural. So you'll see farmers, if you just take corn, whatever, they've gone crop to crop. You know, from summer to fall, when they're harvesting, they're working their tail off. They're trying to get that crop off. They're trying to make the money to make it through the winter. So if you take that aspect, I mean, that's just basing it off that. You got a crop, so you're going to have to make sure that that crop ensures itself to the end and also makes it to the customer, the consumer, and, you know, you make your end. It takes a lot of time, a lot of risk, a lot of everything. So I started smaller. I built my way up little by little, and you just learn from one person to another person. I've had a lot of trials. I've failed. Like, no grower is going to have a success story without failing a bunch of times. Like, nobody, nowhere, know how. You could be in construction. You could be an accountant. You could be a lawyer, a CEO. Anybody that makes it to a certain pinnacle in life, you're going to have failures. You're going to have trials. You're going to have betrayals. You're going to have everything. So you just got to take that, stack that on, and then that's just experience. If you're not dead, if you're not, you know, sitting in a wheelchair, you got plenty of opportunity to get out there and do that. I mean, it's just really, your mind will hold you back a lot more than what your ability is.
Man, that is absolutely the truth, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because people live in mental poverty. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have an impoverished mentality, you know.
A lot of it, too, also comes from your upbringing. So there's certain curses that are on certain families, and some people don't have the right mentors or people. So, you know, I grew up with a single mom. So basically my mentors were people I was dealing with. So people I dealt with basically put me on game. Some people you learn they weren't really about business, and then some people were. And over time, you just soak up game. That's why people have internships. A lot of social media, I feel like, has given people overnight success story. You know, success is like over time. It doesn't happen overnight. Like,
but them small victories, though,
it's
that's kind of what gets you motivated and keep you, you know, keep you inspired by what you're doing, because it can definitely get discouraging real quick. You know what I mean? And you know, it's nice to see, you know what I'm saying, people who have mastered their craft, you know. And I can't say that you'd ever stop learning how to do it, because, you know, I'm sure eventually you can always do better. But also just different strands. I mean, they don't all grow the same. They all need different types of nurturing.
It's like children.
How do you keep track of that? And then to find time, because it's just such meticulous work. You know what I mean? And it takes a lot of study, scientific education, you know what I mean?
A lot of the things I think come through experience too. And also I learned some things from paying other people too. Like once I hit a certain age, hit a certain amount of money, I started consulting with other people, and I paid people. And really paying people sometimes for their knowledge will save you a lifelong, or even just watching people, having the right mentors, having the right people around you will save you a lot of time and money from the headaches and the failures that they've already went through.
You know, I've heard of a lot of challenges and obstacles in partnerships, you know what I'm saying? When, people want to put, their money together. Let's, put our resources together. Let's put our money together and let's start something, and some failed, some became successful. A lot of times, as they grew in success, people's ideas change, sometimes people
outgrow
grow
people.
Yes, exactly.
And that's healthy. It's healthy to outgrow people.
Mhm.
So you shouldn't feel afraid to be alone sometimes. Success is a very lonely journey. And some days you'll just have to be you. You just got to be you. You got to rough it out, stick it out, smile. You know what I mean? You might cry.
So
I mean, you
my
might cry.
struggle.
You might have a fail. You might be all the way in a crop fail, and you still gotta suck it up. You might have to pack it up. You might have to pack it up tonight. You know what I mean? And hit the road. But you just gotta know at the end of the day, when you pack it up, it's still another day. You can still live to fight another day. I play a long game, so if you play in a long game, you're gonna win. You're playing short term, you're never going to win. If you think about you, just you, you'll never win. You got to think about your customer, your audience, your family, who you want to be. And that'll really push you to be who you need to be and to create the product or the service that you're going to provide, because that's how you get paid. It's a product or a service. And if you're not putting it all into it, then how is the customer going to receive that? Like, look at Chick-fil-A. They make a good sandwich. People keep coming back.
What do you think about people just who do it as, projects? It's therapeutic. You know what I'm saying?
That's a great way, too. I started in the tent. So, now I look back, that's really a project. We're working on a project. It's me and you. We're working on a project. We're doing a thing. That's where you start. You start with one plant. You get started by just doing it. And then if it's for you, it'll be for you. Some people got in it for money. And if you're just doing it for money, the ups and downs, it won't weigh out for some people.
No, for sure.
Some people
definitely.
that are looking for the quick 1, 2, 3, you might not get it. You might get slapped down 3 times. You might. It just comes with what.
Man,
it
that
is.
shit don't motivate me to ever want to grow. I swear to God, I'm straight,
I mean,
bro. I done took enough L's in my life, dog. I'm
But
straight.
the key in life is just to never give up. And I learned
no
that a
doubt
lot
about
through
it.
martial arts too. So I'm pretty ranked in martial arts. And
Man, I seen that shit, bro. I said, look at this Chuck Norris looking motherfucker over here.
but the key is being humble about it too. So as you rise up, you don't really go around,
And it's crazy to think that, how they physically train you to be dangerous, but also mentally train you to be humble.
Mental.
You know what I'm saying?
We train more
it
in
is.
reserve.
Yeah.
When I spar, I'm only supposed to give 10-20% to younger ranks. You're supposed to show them, hey, you messed up here. This is how you should do it, and so forth. You're not supposed to go in and be like, oh, I'm dangerous, I can hurt you. You're only supposed to bring that out when really you need to.
Yeah, no doubt
and it's
about it.
changed over time with society.
Hey, I see some shit on TikTok one time, and it was this Mexican cholo dude, and he had got into it with this white dude. So the Mexican Vato, he's like, hey, whatever, Vato.
Whatever, I'm with it.
Dog got in a stance, a karate stance, pulled them pants up like these, bro. It came out him like this. Dog was like, what in the fuck is going on right now, dog? I said, hell no. Once you see a nigga spread his legs like that, bro, you already
it's better
know.
just to walk away anyway. So if you can avoid a situation, it's better to walk away,
I'm telling you, bro, you picked the wrong fight with the wrong
Yeah,
mother. You just don't know what somebody
There's
know.
always a bigger and badder person. So, someone's always going to be bigger and badder. So you just pick your battle.
It's a lot of people that have strengths that don't look like they about really nothing, but they got some skills. You know what I'm saying?
Some skinny white boys throw some
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Yep. So what kind of student were you in school, man?
School?
Yeah.
I was, up until about senior year, I had all A's. Senior year, I got a car, started moving around. It slid down a little bit. I graduated with 3.4, so wasn't too bad.
No, man, good for you,
I had a good
bro.
ACT score. I was pretty high up there. I got a 28. But by that time, I was a senior. I wasn't focused on school. I already had seen the vision. I didn't buy into it. You could have gave me free schooling. I had grants and stuff. I just seen that if I invested 4 years of my time into my craft and who I am, I'll come out a lot stronger, a lot further than people that went to college.
That's how long it takes to get a journeyman is 4 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you gave yourself that same amount of years.
No, for sure, and it just continues on. And now I'm 25. You keep adding to experience. I look, if I'm 25 now, in 15 years I'll be 40. If I keep on the long track and keep on, being focused and disciplined, I mean, the sky's the limit, really. Anyone that can show up and persistently show up, even when, the odds are against you, and, it seems like there's no favor in your way, and, everything's stacked up. You show up, it's going to happen. There has no choice but to happen.
How do you start?
Undeniable.
How do you start from zero, bro?
How do you start from zero?
How do you start from
if
zero?
If I started from zero today, I would just become undeniable. Like, everyone has
that was cold.
Everyone has
He said become undeniable, dog. That was cold, dog. That's why this shit called Real Everyday People, man.
Because
dang.
When you give no option but to make it happen, it will happen. It might not happen today. It might take 3 years. A lot of people try to rush the process, but if you look at Get Rich or Die Trying, literally 50 Cent said, I'm going to lay it out. You know what I mean?
Ain't no
I'm
going
to get rich or I'm going to die trying. I'm going to stay up 3 days. But most people aren't willing to stay up 3 days. They want to come home 9 to 5. They want to say they're tired. They want to complain, whatever. If it is really what you want, you're going to make it happen. You will attract the circumstances and the substance of it needing to happen. It will come forth. I mean, if you look in, if you're religious.
Nigga just quoted a Bible scripture or something. That nigga said, come forth, Heath.
I mean, but a lot of people are religious, but they don't read the word or they don't live by the word. I'd rather not go to church and live by the
sinners
word than, I mean, Jesus' best friends were sinners. But he also lived by the word, and he lived by faith.
He was crucified with two of them.
But if you can live and see the unseen, a lot of people who are majorly successful seen the unseen before it happened. So you have to call forth which isn't. So if you see yourself doing what you want to do and how you want to be, and you really aren't living that dream life, you're really cutting yourself short because you have nothing to lose. When you said starting from zero, you have nothing to lose. Another no is another yes. You're one yes away.
You do, nigga. You can lose your freedom. You know what I'm saying?
If you're making the wrong circumstances.
Fuck
You're making the right.
And where I'm from, all our circumstances was wrong.
Well,
and,
that just comes from, the people you hang around. Birds of a feather flock together. So
wolves,
if you're hanging around
fucking
people,
wolves,
you know what I mean?
Wolves.
You just have to surround yourself with the right people, and sometimes you just have to be yourself and be by yourself.
It's just crazy how by all means necessary can have its own interpretation in different communities.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, everybody that that knows the streets by all means necessary, but also don't trick yourself off the street. Mm-hmm. So talk the long game. Mm-hmm. You can be out here saying this and that, but a gangster is someone that's about their business and takes care of family. Everything else, it don't mean nothing. That don't stand on no substance. A lot of people,
you are 100% correct.
Going
Absolutely.
To get a job at McDonald's and doing what you got to do.
But see, like you said, bro, like you thought about forward. You thought about the future.
Yeah.
But in our community, though, our people were not conditioned to think about the future because we only looking and dealing with what's in front of us.
When you got the light
we
shut
never
off
even knew if we was going to make it till tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a day by day. I understand that. I've been in that situation.
But what the type of impact it has on a whole community when,
whole community,
everybody thinks like that,
And a lot of it's also on bigger things that we can't even control. Like there's a lot of things that were set forth in society that different communities and different societies have to deal with, and there's even more obstacles. So if there's even more obstacles, say there's the odds are stacked against you, that means you should just put in more effort knowing that the odds are stacked against you. When you do make it, you'll have an even bigger impact. So if you're a minority, you're going to stand out more once you hit that pinnacle, but it might take you 9 years versus 5 years. But if you don't cut yourself short and you keep pushing, eventually you're going to win.
But I'll tell you what, you are absolutely correct, because I always asked, what was the difference between, wealthy and successful communities and communities like urban communities that I come from. And that was the huge difference, is that people who come from successful communities plan and prepare for the future. You know what I'm saying? And us, we just want to get through the day. Everything was about survival. Nothing was about.
Well, if I could help anybody with like a success, it'd be set forth what you want. So figure out what you want. A lot of people don't even know what they want. So where you're going to be in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years. If you can figure out that and know what you want, you'll wake up, you have a purpose. We all were given a gift. So once you find out your gift and you stick with that and you run with that, there won't be any confusion. You're already locked in. You got
Ain't no doubt about it, bro.
You got the image. You're walking in it. There won't be any fake to it. You can just naturally get up, do something, and run with it. And eventually, doors will open. It says doors of opportunity will open to those who continue to knock. So once you continue to knock,
you got to walk in your power, bro.
Yeah, the power is there. It's in the word. It wasn't in just going to church. People told you, You got to learn where power comes from, how it reacts, and where to get into it.
Man, I learned more about sin in church than I did anything else. You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure. And different people have different religious views and different things. But if you break it down to the principle of just, it said walk in it, believe. And it doesn't matter what religion you're in. They all say to believe. So once you have faith in something, faith is substance. Faith is substance of things that are unseen. So just like this basement you're sitting in, you're seeing something that was once not seen. And then the basement might turn into a studio, or it could just catapult.
This bitch is all purpose. You hear me?
And your purpose is really where you live. Money is a byproduct of just doing a good job. So once you do a good job and you continue on, that's where you'll end up in the, you'll have excess. And once you have excess, you should learn how to do with excess and then give on to others.
Ain't no doubt about it.
Just give to others too.
Because I have known, like, over the years, I've seen people inherit money, people from the hood, inherit money
disappear.
Or get a lawsuit or somehow just stumble on lump sums of money and not educated really to know what to even do with that. Like $90,000, you give, somebody 18 years old, what I'm saying, that kind of money. And there's no financial guidance. It's more leechers than anything. Like, oh, wow, what can you do?
Also try to get,
and then you buy all this shit. And then, like, I knew a guy bought like 3 cars and crashed all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, within months, 6 months, if that, you know what I'm saying? Like, had nothing to show for any of it at that time, at that point, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, you got a small fortune, where if you would have just had some financial guidance, maybe, you would have been able to do something and build something for yourself, you know what I mean? And not having that, though, sometimes, like I said, when you live in a
now that's experience.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, for sure.
I mean, some people will look at it as that was bad, but now you look at it, hey, next time you come around with $90,000, now what will you do with it? And that's a good question to ask. I mean, I'm sure everyone's come across some type of money that they wish, hey, I could have did that with it. So don't ever count a bad experience as being totally negative. You can turn your negatives into a positive.
Yeah.
Sometimes your biggest losses will be the setup for the biggest win of your life.
I just, in life, I learned that your moves got to be calculated. You know what I'm saying?
Once you get to a certain point, when you're grown, you got responsibilities, you have to make things calculated.
Ain't no doubt about it.
It makes sense, but sometimes you have to go past the making sense too, though. Like, you can live a 9 to 5, but eventually, if you do have that dream, if it's burning hard enough,
yeah, you got to work.
You got to
work 10 days a week. You got to work 10 days a week.
Well, you can work smarter too. Employing people eventually will help you, and not necessarily as employing people to work for you. Also, buying knowledge can be a huge thing. Having the right lawyer or accountant, anyone that can build to your team and your vision will help you grow.
One of my biggest gifts is networking, bro. That's always been one of my huge assets, was being able to speak everybody's language. You know what I mean? I can go in any and every community, bro, and be effective. You know what I'm saying? And be able to build a bridge, you know? And so I have a richness in resources, you know? And I think it's great because when you have them type of tools,
well, speaking's a gift too. So if you know how to speak and you know how to communicate and get on people's level, or how to deal with people, that's huge. That's half the battle.
And you know what's crazy is just being real and being sincere. You know what I'm saying? Just sharing, bro. When you think about the Bible, bro, the Bible is full of chapters of people who have been through something, have lost, were sick, people who died, people who were washed up in floods, people who were part of, Sodom and Gomorrah, floods, fires, everything. You know what I'm saying? But everybody had an encounter with a higher power. Everybody had an encounter with Jesus. Everybody had an encounter with God. And everybody been through something and lived to tell about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing we doing. It's people that read books and then base their whole life off the books that they read, but ain't got no real experience and common sense to draw off.
I think a lot of people don't live in the power. They just read about it.
Yeah, no doubt. But I'll tell you what, man, it's one of the most beautiful feelings, bro, when you can look at yourself in the mirror and know who you are and what you are and what you ain't, you know what I'm saying? And to be able to know your worth and know what you truly made of, Oh,
by far. I mean, knowing yourself is half, too. Like, you got to figure out you, and then you just build upon that. If you don't know you, then you're just basically pouring into an empty cup. And how can you build upon anything else if you're not happy?
I know I built a lot of houses on broken foundations, bro, and none of them were ever successful. The foundations start right here with your morality, your priorities, your values, all that shit, bro.
It's
for
time
real.
by time, experience by experience. That's where it adds up to the win.
And I think I'm so passionate about my life and my story because nothing has ever come easy for me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Nothing about my life was ever politically correct, dog, But
I think that's also giving you just a story to go out and, show people and, also inspire other people that maybe not be in your situation. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are looking at a podcast like this and are wishing that they had the equipment or the do so to do it. And if they had that, they would be doing that, and they'd do everything in their will to get that.
Because honestly, I feel like, systematic wise, I was not supposed to make it, bro. I was not supposed to be here. I was supposed to either be dead or I was supposed to die in prison. You know what I'm saying? And God brought me out of this shit. I went to prison on a murder case with a few different guys. My brother Mike, he in there. Mike Morgan, free Mike Morgan, man. He's in the joint, same murder case, everything. He made a decision to go to trial. They gave him natural life plus 100 years. He fighting for his life right now. You know what I'm saying? Pat, that's my other brother. We was on the same case. Right. He was the actual shooter. Pat. Rest in peace, Pat, definitely. And that brings me to, that conclusion that, we went and did the same time. He got out 6 months before I did. For first year, he was trying to, make it happen with PCAP and, just trying to do everything the right way. But he couldn't keep up. You know what I'm saying? He wanted some bread. He turned back to the streets. You know what I'm saying? And the streets are the streets, bro. And, and they killed him. So, when I think of these guys' situations, like they done killed my brother, my other brother doing natural life. And here I am.
I think you're here, and now you got a reason to talk and push on forward. You can be the one to live on and tell your story and, be the inspiration for the next person that might be in that situation. Don't give up. Because at the end of the day, we're all running this. Don't matter, you got a Bugatti or you got a Honda, you're renting it at the end of the day. Once you die, it's going to go to someone else. And it's going to disappear one day. So it's, I think, more on the story and what you overcome and where you go than it is about the materials or the house. Or because you could have a big house. If you don't have people to fill it, then, what's to fulfill?
What's crazy? when I was on this my journey, you know, life is a constant journey. You know, you ask yourself, what is your gifts? What gifts do you possess? You know? And I had to think about it. And I couldn't believe it, you know, but the outcome of my searching, me searching my own spirit, suffering has been my gift, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I know sometimes people might not understand that shit, you know? And it took me a minute. It threw me back once I came to the realization of what my gift was. But I'm okay with that, you know, because at least I know it's not for nothing. You know what I mean? I go to colleges now. I go to schools. I train Wayne County sheriffs and just sharing my story, bro. You know what I mean? And who the fucking thunk it? Coming home after 17 years and come home and just get to it, bro, and make all the right decisions, you know, where I don't even think my own family knew what to expect when I came home, bro. You know what I mean?
That's the best part, too, about is being underestimated, I think. When you come through certain circumstances and you have those trials and everybody's got their own story and their own path, that's the biggest thing. I think it's good to be the underdog. So you got the underdog story. Also, you have the chance to live through other people that might not be able to live it now. So you take that and run with it.
Absolutely, bro.
You know, that's a gift in itself, that you got the freedom and the ability to do it. So if you have the breath and the whereabout to show up and do it, I mean, anyone can do anything. I mean, there's nothing to stop you. I think the sky's the limit, really, when it comes to life. And my whole life's been basically just turning the impossible into possible. So
ain't no doubt about it.
Once you take, the right steps and skills, and then just builds block by block, then you'll have a success formula to just keep showing up. And eventually you're going to win. Like, if you show up as a dog and you just work it out, you're going to beat people.
But, life and people,
they're going to drag you down.
There's
people are going to
challenges.
drag you down.
There
There's
are obstacles.
Challenges.
I mean, you're going to go through loss. You're going to go through deceit. You're going to go through betrayal.
People are going to deceive you, betray you.
Like your closest friends. I mean, when it comes to money, once you become successful, all of a sudden people change. The direction change. All of a sudden, their idea of business and who.
I mean, I've had business partners screw me over, and I think it's just a part of greed. But if you take it back to just the base principle showing up, it doesn't matter if you go back to zero. If you have the right skills and the know-how and you keep showing up, that's the thing with growing. Not everybody knows how to do it. Not everybody has the right skill set. They don't know the exact parameters and the right clones and marketing and getting in with the people that you need to get in with the fit in. It's a whole thing, A to Z. So a lot of people miss different steps. You might have a building, you might have the money, but if you don't have the skill or the gift, if it ain't really what you're about, doesn't matter. You have Taj Mahal, you're not going to succeed. And that's in any business. You can have all the tools in the world, but if you don't know how to use them, there ain't nothing, there's no use.
Yup. And people need to know their dimension of learning. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody has different comprehension skills. I'm a hands-on learner. I'm one of them people, I got to read the same paragraph 3 motherfucking times to fully understand what the fuck I'm reading sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But, it is what it is, There's some people you can say something one time and they'll remember everything you say. I'm going to hunt your ass to death and be like, what did you say? Say that one more time, dog, for real.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got their own comprehension skills, so I mean, you do have to take that into part. But that's the thing in business. You just got to become the person. You can't say, hey, whatever. And when you start to create excuses, like where I see in people's lives, they create an excuse for it, then now you're giving yourself a crutch. You're giving yourself a way out. Your competition isn't giving himself a way out. If he's winning, he's winning. And trust me, when you want to win, you're going to win. You're going to show up, and you're going to do whatever it needs to get done to get that done.
I think the way to eliminate his excuses is with
doing action.
accountability.
Just take action, really.
Accountability, though, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You
You got to realize that it's you. You know.
But really, if you took the same time to sit there and complain about it, than actually to pick up the broom and sweep the pile up or vacuum it up, I mean, it takes the same energy.
Yeah.
You can either complain about it or do something about it. And if the odds are stacked against you, you know, doesn't matter. You just still got to do it. We ain't got to lay out till you're dead or, I mean, incapacitated. I mean, there ain't really nothing we can do.
That's what I tell
know?
people all the time. You know, when people, you know, everybody, we're humans. Everybody's got a bad day, but I'm just like, hey, everybody didn't wake up today. You know what I'm saying? So it's
For
like
sure.
shit.
You got to be grateful.
You got to
for
make
what
it
you
count
have.
for something,
It's a
man.
gift. Every day's a gift. And
You
gotta
can't
be
just take life for granted, man. You know,
No, I mean,
freedom.
just waking up, breathing, being free. That's a blessing in itself.
But it's just, my thing was, I didn't want to come home and be a fucking robot. So you got to think, I'm in prison. I'm trying to get insight to the new world that I'm coming home to. You know what I mean? Advanced technology, you know, transgender, all these things that
I have no idea about.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know.
You went away way before that.
So, you know, there was nothing that could really prepare you for it. But I was already thinking outside of prison. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to know what type of world I was going into, and I was learning that by what was coming into prison. You know what I'm saying? The caliber of prison, people who were coming into prison, mainly a lot of drug addicts and mainly a lot of people with mental health. You know what I'm saying? Issues. And that really flipped the whole prison system upside down, because it was no longer ran like, you know, like a prison. It was ran like a fucking mental institution.
Well, a lot of places too were also cut. Like mental health's definitely been cut on funding, so they've been just locking people up instead of, you know, realizing that they have a problem.
But that changed the dynamics of prison. You're feeding lambs to wolves. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, by far. I mean, that's definitely, you know, but that's how the system. Like we were saying earlier, there's certain people, they have certain circumstances and societies. You just have to take whatever's being thrown at you, navigate that, and move knowing that sometimes, you know, the odds are against you.
I mean, you know, life, bro, can be overwhelming at times, bro. Like, there's moments where you want to jump off of a fucking cliff. You want to jump out of your own skin and dive in the water and go as deep as you can. Like, life can be that overwhelming sometimes. And honestly, there's people who actually go that extra mile where they just take their own lives over just pressure. You know what I'm saying?
I'd say I've been to some points where I was down and out, but really, it's just about digging deep. You know, life's deep.
Honestly,
you know, like I've had my sister was murdered. I mean, there's going to be days where, you know, the air is, you feel like you could just cut it. And, or you just feel that, you know, today's the day. You know what I mean? But I think the people that go through the darkest days also have the opportunity to have the brightest days. So if you look at, you know, hey, if this is the worst it's going to get, or it might get worse, but just knowing one day, if you could just take that negative thought and replace it every time with a positive thought, you'll slowly change how you think. And what you think is what you become. Like 10 years ago, I thought about living where I live now, and that's where I'm living. So it's just on.
But
what
we
you're
live in a society that is
well,
so
you gotta
demanding.
Step out of society, though. That's
I'm
the
saying
thing.
it's
like,
demanding,
if you
though.
want to become a 1%, you can't think like the other 99.
Brother,
And
everybody
you can't
ain't a
go to your
hellraiser,
mom.
bro.
You can't
Everybody
go to your
is
mom. You can't go to anyone around
going.
you.
Everybody's following suit, bro. You know what I'm
You
saying?
just gotta be different. You want a different life. You want a different circumstance. Think differently. Act differently.
This is
You
why
might
I
have to
love
be
this guy
alone.
right here. Right
You might
here.
have
This
to be
is why.
alone. You know, and no one's perfect. No one makes the right decisions all the time. You know what I mean? I'm far from perfect. I mean, I've made so many bad decisions in my life, but you got to make sure that the good decisions outweigh the bad decisions, and don't make bad decisions that can ultimately affect the wrong. You know, it can there's some circumstances that can put you in a situation, and if you know that could jeopardize your whole life, step away. It ain't worth
And
it.
and a big part of that is the people that you're hanging around with.
Well, yeah, that's what we said.
Because
you know,
they can make a decision
people
that can change your fucking life,
oh,
just
yeah,
because
by-
you're with them.
Just by association.
That's
You
how
get
I
in
ended up
trouble
in
with
prison,
people.
bro. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
You're associating, you're rolling with the wrong people.
If you got a homeboy who likes to drink and fight, you might not want to hang out with him, or you might not want to go hang out with him at the bar. Maybe
Yeah.
he's good to hang out with at home, but maybe
different
you don't
things.
want to,
Well, maybe you
and it's
can't
knowing
change the
them
people
boundaries with your.
necessarily around the people you're around all the time. It just changes the dynamic that you are with that person, maybe.
Or you got a friend that keeps a gun on him all the time. Eventually, he gonna pull the motherfucker out.
Well, I mean, if you're listening to bad things all the time, I mean, eventually you're going to become what you think about.
Listen, you invite the bullshit into your life, man. You know what I'm
Inviting
saying?
the enemy into your situation. Why wouldn't you invite, something else?
Absolutely.
Why would you speak death over yourself? A lot of people say a lot of negative things when they could just turn around and say in the opposite
Man,
and go right to positive, and you would just see such a change.
man, for some people, bro, death don't sound like a bad idea, bro. That's how bad some people are
People
suffering, bro.
People
You know what
have
I'm
given
saying?
up on the dream life. They've sold themselves short, I think. And a lot of the people don't want to accept that reality. Is when you just got to take accountability. I just laugh about it because, like, a lot of people are adults and they just don't want to take accountability for their bad actions. Like, you might be a great person, but there might be a few bad traits about you that might outweigh you. It just might outweigh your value. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I have faults. I am, nowhere near perfect. But you just got to look at, hey, what am I doing wrong? How can I fix it? How can I think more positively and move in the right direction?
Tell me one thing that you possess that is a gift and a curse. Gotti.
I'd say persistence. Because sometimes persistence can lead you down the wrong situation. Like, I don't like to give up. So, like, say there's a bad situation. Say it's a partnership or a friendship or a relationship. I might not give up right away. Like, there might be telltale signs like, hey, this business partner might screw me over. But I'm always a good person. Or, like, seeing the good in people, too. Like, I like to see... I'm more optimistic. So optimism has sometimes put me in bad situations with people when they were thinking a totally different way. And I wasn't seeing that. I was being optimistic about a situation that was really not a good situation in the first place.
So, real life experience, two life lessons that I learned from my whole experience, and my thing with my brother Mike and Pat. Mike was the kind of person that had no gray area. It was all or nothing, win or lose.
I would say that's
You know what I'm saying?
I'm all in or I'm not.
And he
in.
was always like that in everything he did. And Pat he didn't know how to fight. Every time he fought, he got beat up. But he will shoot you in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? But it's important to know that, because, a person who thinks like a hammer, everything looks like a nail to him, So it's important to be mindful of your people's strengths and
surroundings.
weaknesses. If you got close friends, you need to be able to check in with them to make sure that they still on the same path. Because like you said, people change and people grow different sometimes. They grow in different
It
directions.
might be negative.
Priorities
or
change.
Positively.
You could have a friend that just had a kid. Now his life has changed. You know what I'm saying? Now what we were doing is not a priority anymore. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever it may be, You always have to be prepared to stand on all 10, and hold it down for yourself. But
And believing in yourself will, and I think ultimately take you where you need to be, because you will be you at the end of the day, and that's all you're gonna ever have. I mean, you can have family, friends, but at the end of the day, it's you. I mean, if you're the boss, you're signing that dotted line.
hey, this guy does not take no for an answer, I swear. I tell you, this guy, you could sit here and talk about this and that and And he's like, no, not gonna happen. All you got to do is get up and get to it. You know what I'm saying? And I love it. I love it for real because
I grew up in church, but I wouldn't say I'm more like religious these days. I believe more in faith, but the faith is what keeps me sustained in the situation. So when you become undeniable when you keep the faith, how did a miracle happen? I'm sure there's things that were happening in that miracle. How did people, split water or whatever, however it works. Maybe those things really didn't happen, but maybe that was an inspirational story basically to inspire you to keep that faith and have that to walk on with. And you go and do the impossible. That's basically what I think I've been put here to do. It's like do the impossible and show people, hey, how do I take something from nothing and turn it into something? And that's basically what you do when you grow. You take something that was nothing, then you turn it into something, and then you also help someone.
Man, that sounds like a motherfucking song you just wrote, dog. This nigga just wrote a song from something to nothing, baby. You hear me?
I mean,
God damn.
It's just, part of the game, really. On that.
Okay. Tell me what you think about the battle between flesh and spirit.
Flesh and spirit?
The battle between
It's
flesh and
intertwined.
spirit.
It's all intertwined. That's why you have blood, and you got meat, you got a heart, you got a head, you got toes, but there's also things that you can't see. So that's why I was saying, if you keep the substance of faith, you're going to see things that aren't in flesh. So flesh is going to fight spirit, and spirit's going to fight flesh. So there's going to be negative things that will try to attach on to you as you are rising through, like these lights on this podcast. We're shining bright, but there's also going to be darkness that's going to try to outweigh that, and it's a constant pull and tug, and there's a negative and a positive atom, so they both intertwined. So you got to know when
This nigga got scientific on it.
well, science and religion intertwine, but they try to split it. Who created science?
Is that where Scientology came from?
Who created science?
Fuck.
created the Earth?
Albert
Well, Big
Einstein.
Bang,
I don't
no,
know.
Okay, but a Big Bang, but a Big Bang theory. Okay, but what's greater than that?
Mario, who created science? Shout out to Mario from the Legal Aliens podcast. Who created science? It's not
But
Albert
But
Einstein.
if you believe in a higher power of some sort, no matter if it's whatever you believe in, there's something obviously that created that we're bigger. It's bigger.
That's
than
how
us.
cults were created, bro.
Well, there's a lot of cult, a lot of cult action, and a lot of religions.
Hell, absolutely.
But
People
I
were
think-
indoctrinated, dog.
I think if you break it down to the real facts of what's happened, what's happening, it's real. There's no undeniable. Once you do something, like there wouldn't be religion without faith. And they ask, why don't they give us everything, right? Well, if you knew in 5 years from now that you would be on top, you wouldn't do nothing for them 5 years. A lot of people would just sit around and be like, I made it. Or they would treat people differently. They'd do their day-to-day, but they would treat people differently knowing that they might have favor. But people didn't figure out their favor until they had faith. And people that had faith also didn't give up. So they went through and did what they had to do to get there.
So, having all this time in prison, you have all the time in the world
What the thing.
to read, to study, to research, you research religion, history. And I'll tell you what, I was raised as a Catholic. And when I went to prison, I learned about all these different religions, shit I ain't never even heard of before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, sure you heard
So-
of Buddhism in there.
Yes, that Wiccans. I'm talking about everything, bro. We learned. They teach you about Norsemen, Moorish Americans, the Nation of Islam, the Melanics. And then the so many branches of Christianity and Catholicism, and just everything, bro. I was like, damn. So I asked my mom one day, like, why did you raise me as a Catholic? And she's like, mijo, I don't know. I was raised as a Catholic. So there was no true substance really in why we were going to church other than, we were going
Generational,
to a
really.
place.
I think a lot of people's circumstance comes from generation. Her mom was probably a Catholic, and her mom was probably Catholic, so it's passed down. And sometimes things might get passed down to you that might not always be true or be the way that is for you.
Bro, when you talk about rape, pillage, and plunder, bro, them Christians and them Catholics, bro, they was the most savage of all. You know what I'm saying?
There's some savage Islams too. You can't get it wrong. There's some religions too that are also just as brutal. And
bro, I read the Bible from beginning to end, and I was like, holy shit, there is so much violence in the Bible.
Well,
I said, God killed so many people through floods, through this,
there wouldn't be, any power without killing. God can give a life or he can take it.
God
and
is
he's
free
the creator,
will.
right?
Yeah,
So if he's the
of
creator
both. He is the
both,
creator of
right.
good and evil, bro.
Right. So
And our gift is the gift of will. You choose what you want to do.
right, you have the will. You also have the you have will. You have after that you have choice too. So that would kind of go in Cohen. You have the choice to choose, and I think it's beyond religion. So like if you look,
Eve had a choice to choose,
but I think it's
and she
even
chose to
beyond
eat that
Eve.
motherfucking apple.
I think
You know
it's
what I'm
beyond
saying?
Eve, I think it's beyond what the Bible or a Quran, anything could write. It's power. How do you explain power? How do you explain the unexplainable?
I just can't. I can't have faith in something that has been altered. You know what I'm saying?
It's been altered, but if you look at it, right, that's what I'm saying. You got to look beyond word.
Yeah,
And the
there's a
word is
lot of
power.
lessons in there, but
Well,
it's
the
like
word's beyond
textbooks.
power.
In textbooks, what do they tell you, bro? What do they teach
they're
you?
altering it. Obviously, society's always been altered to
The
benefit,
truth. The
you know,
truth.
yeah,
They alter the
they're-
truth.
Well, yeah. So if you stand on truth, that's the ultimate thing. So once you figure out the truth and know your truth, there is no deniability.
You know, when I reached that point, when I just got to know myself, how we talk about
God is
going on
within
that
yourself,
journey.
though. Like the God is you.
The
You
more
were
I-
made in image.
The more I found myself, everything around me started to
What
make
did it
sense.
say? Draw near to me. So right. So if you are God, right, you were made in the image of God. You are God. You drew near to yourself, so it says draw near to God. So
Absolutely.
you found your truth, and that's all you need. That's the peace.
My
you need.
dog, boy, that nigga's a pastor, boy. That's my dog.
I mean, it just comes on action. I feel action and faith that comes, and that's what it did. That's what they did. The disciples had faith. They took action. People in the Quran took action. Anyone that had something and became something did it by taking steps to that point. So, and sometimes you just have to take step by step. Doesn't happen like just everybody wants a microwave result. And what does it taste when you put it in the microwave? Tastes a lot better when you put it in an oven.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
It's just like growing, You can try to start an overnight product, or you can take the time, find the genetics, go through the ups and downs, and then one day you'll get it, and it's just like the back of your hand. It's like that even just in a podcast, or when you're framing a door, or you're doing textbooks, or you're doing spreadsheets. And the more you do it, the better you'll get, and the more result you'll yield. And then once you start to yield results, it also comes in what you get. So as you get more, you should give more, or you should do more, and it'll all just multiply.
No doubt about it. Definitely vital to your survival is to stay diligent. You know what I'm saying? And don't go into anything with one way in and one way out. You have to have options. You have to be able to have something to fall back on. You have to plan things out A through Z.
I would say that if you are going to something, though, I wouldn't have a backup plan. I've never had a backup plan. If I do something, I just choose to do
That's
it.
what That's why you're a maniac. That's what separates you from everybody else. Because you dive
Well,
in. You dive in.
I'd rather die than to quit it.
Man,
You
they
know,
should have never gave you that Get Rich or Die Trying album, bro. This guy's like, fuck it, I'm gonna die
but
trying.
Look, if you really thought that you were gonna make it somewhere, right? Why would you cut yourself short?
Because sometimes when you have lack of resources, shit can
Bro,
get
the
discouraging, bro.
Are the
For
least
real.
amount. It's a believing in yourself. You are the story.
I understand. I got a good ass story, but if I ain't got no money,
But-
nigga, shit.
But you ain't pushing hard enough. You ain't not.
If I push any harder, nigga, it's gonna be armed robbery. No
But that's the
bullshit.
one way of thinking, you know what I mean? While you're thinking
No.
about armed robbery, right? You could have went and solicited business to donate.
Listen, bro.
Or you could hit up lenders. You could have put a business plan together. There's Live Plan, bro. It's $20 a month. I've raised millions of dollars on Live Plan. You go on there, you put your 5-year plan, you give your pitch, you got your exit, you got everything, you got your summary, you know what I mean? The street
This
is only
nigga's
one
giving
way.
the game right now.
You
He's
know,
giving the
streets
fucking
is
game.
one way, but there's a whole nother way. And while people are acting this and that, blah blah blah, who blase, there's really people getting millions and billions, and it ain't just cash. It's spreadsheets, different things, And as you enter in a bigger level in the grow game, you're gonna need to know real estate. You're gonna need to know how to network with people. You're gonna need to know how to get a lawyer, an accountant. And you could say you got lack of resources all day. I had a single mom. I don't have no big investor putting money behind us. It's just work. So you just got to go out there and get with the constituents and be you. It's like boxing. You got someone in front of the ring. You're gonna knock them out. It's you or me. It's a dog-eat-dog
It depends
world.
if that's the fight you want to fight.
Well,
You know what I mean?
if you don't want to fight the fight, then stay on the sideline.
That nigga cold with his shit. He ain't been shit but gave game for the.
Don't step up if you don't want to step up. It's like football. You're not going to do a tackle drill hitting 50%. You're going to get blown out of the water. When you go on kickoff, you know that someone's going to get the ball. You're going to go blow someone's shit in.
There it is.
I mean,
There
while
it is.
you're doing, 99 steps, someone might be doing 110. So at the end of the day, it's just really giving effort. And people that are going to make it, there's people that have had less than you that have gone farther than you.
Absolutely. Definitely.
And there's people that have had more than you that have done less than you. So you can't just say, "Oh, I don't have the resources. I don't have the people." Well, get around the people. Go get the resources. They print money every day,
They sure do.
and they got it cut, clean, banded up. It's sitting at the bank. You don't have to go rob a bank to make the money. You'd go and do something stupid.
Tell that to
you know
Rick
what I mean?
Speck. Tell that shit to Rick Speck. Shit. That's my motherfucking dog.
Hey, look.
Shit.
There comes a time where you need to take. But look,
Yeah, we need you to get in on this conversation, Rick, man. Matter of fact, you're fucking next. You should have been here with us, dog.
look. Okay, so some people come to a certain point in time where they do make us. They make some action. He took action.
That nigga took full action,
there's
full
action, right?
opportunity.
But what did we say? In the long game, sometimes one action can cause 10 reactions.
I want to
So-
say he did it more than once.
Well, yeah. So put that into perspective. Eventually, you will get caught.
Hell yeah.
So that comes with anything. Eventually, you will get
But
caught.
you know
what
what's
happens in the
crazy?
dark will come to light.
But you know what's crazy is motherfuckers are still willing to accept the challenge.
Well,
you
it's,
know what I'm saying?
you got to weigh out your risks and your rewards. I mean,
Mhm.
if that reward's good enough for you and you're willing to take the risk, hey, look, take the risk.
I'll
But
tell
don't
you
take
what.
the risk and don't take what comes with the risk. So don't step out, what I learned when I was coming up, don't step off the porch if you ain't willing to, don't jump off the porch if you ain't ready. Because when you get in the world, it's when you turn 18, dude, you're out on your own. It's the real world. You can't make excuses. You can cry, bitch, moan, and complain. Look, you're a grown man. Get up and go get it. You ain't got no
I
other
don't even
fucking
know
choice
what
but to,
age bracket is
but
a
whatever,
grown
you could be
a grown
12
person.
years old, bro, and have to step up and be responsible of the house. You
I've
might
been
have to,
that.
when I was a young
I
kid, I
have
had to
been
cut
that.
the grass. I had to do the shit. I was cleaning banks. I had to go to school, work all night, go back home, after practice, go home, do it all over again. I mean,
I used to clean the Secretary of State offices with my grandma and grandpa, dog.
Yeah, my
As
mom
a
and
little
I, we
hustle.
used to clean banks back in the day. So my mom had a
That's the
cleaning
shit.
thing. So, and there was like financial buildings. Some buildings I wasn't able to go and do. Some I was. So I just sit there. But I mean, we're still out cleaning, do whatever we had to do, you know. So you can't. I think in the thing, it's all your story. So if you're going through something, just accept it and smile through it. Because eventually you'll get to a certain point. If you keep doing the right thing, you'll get into a situation where you're going to succeed.
Absolutely.
It all adds up. I mean, that's why it goes a bachelor's, a master's, you know, and then you got a PhD. It takes time. People don't just get on top of the game overnight. But if you play the long game, you're going to win. It's chess.
What's 2024 look like for you, man?
2024 looks like for me more of just breaking more ground, connecting with people, getting more involved with the community. You know, like, so now I'm adding strains, I'm doing different things, I'm connecting with other people. I'm trying to break ground in Southwest to do a consumption lounge. So we're looking to do a consumption lounge, partner with my buddy, and you know, just make shit happen, really.
I love it. I love it, bro.
Keep cracking at it. You know, eventually I'm going to get into the stores. You know, I'm pre-qualified for license. So, you know, we're moving into the license market. But, you know, it just takes time.
What's one of your favorite strains, bro?
One of my favorite strains?
Yeah.
It just really depends on the result I'm looking for. So lately, like, you know, I've been growing like a lot of gelato runts, pie.
You know, I haven't seen in a while.
Runts is good.
Grease Monkey.
Grease Monkey's good. I've seen a lot of good phenos. And I've seen a few. I mean, I've seen a lot of bad phenos, and I've seen only a few good phenos on that one. But if you had the right pheno, because it was a mix, it gave you yield and it gave you quality if you had the right pheno. But some people got more yield and less quality depending on like the cut and different things I've seen.
What about Purple Punch? That was also one of my
Purple
favorites.
Punch, actually, that I would equate that to one of my success stories because I had got that from a nursery, and in 2019 I had a pretty good yield. And I mean, that's, you know, once you hit a certain number per light, I mean, that can really, you know, change the situation.
2019, that's when I came home, bro.
2019,
That
I
was a
started
good
breaking
year.
more grounds on commercial work.
How did the fucking pandemic affect you?
The pandemic made me more all in, you know, because like medical was still accepted as a thing that we could leave the house and do. So I was working at a facility. So, you know, I'm driving. I'm the only one driving, you know, and I was basically running the facility for these people. So I'm all in. It didn't matter, you know, like everybody's sitting at home. I just saw it as everybody's getting more complacent, getting more scared. I'm in. Like, while everybody's sitting around, I'm jumping on it. Like, you know, you can sit around and complain, bitch, moan. I didn't really buy into it anyway.
That shit ain't gonna help your situation.
I didn't
man,
buy into
you
it
know?
anyways. I didn't wear a mask the whole time, and people can bitch, moan, complain about politics, but I really don't give a fuck. I mean, I'm a person, you know, I'm me. It's either you like me or you don't, you know? And I was like, I've made it this far. I made it through living in Detroit, hustling in Detroit. I can make it through a pandemic, you know. If people can live next to the marathon,
Man, I
plant,
thrived.
You know what I mean? Like,
I thrived in
I
the
think COVID ain't gonna
pandemic.
take you out, you know. I think the pandemic really put the hustlers where the hustlers needed to be, you know, or you weren't, you know. Like, it either put you on or it didn't, you know.
I started my podcast during the pandemic, bro.
I think those are the best times. Like, as we move on in this society, a lot of people are scared of the you know, the economy and how things are gonna go. But I think if you become, like I say, come undeniable, get in, grind. I think the best time was when it seems like there's least opportunity. Like, people in real estate right now, they're complaining about interest rates. That means that there's less people now trying to compete for a deal that you're trying to get. I mean, when there's blood in the water, that's when you're supposed to jump on it. When everybody's scared to make a move, I feel like that's when you should make a move. And when everybody's being greedy, that's when you should be more cautious.
There it is, man. You know, what words of the wise, you know, from my man James. My brother, thank you for coming.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Thank you for sharing your story. Appreciate you. my guy. I appreciate you always breaking bread
Yeah,
with
no,
me.
for sure, man.
Was
Anytime.
my man.
It's all love,
Rick
really.
Speck. We got connected and we've been locked in ever since.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but lock in the date, December 15th at 1211 Trumbull. It is the second annual El Nino Podcast Reunion. Gonna be off the hook. Do not miss it. And again, family, friends, community, small business, big business, it don't matter. You want some sponsorship, some donation, tap in with me. Support the event. We'll put your logo, we'll promote you, and come have some fun.
Yeah,
Much-
come support my man.
Absolutely. Much love to you. I'll see you guys next Monday.
Take care.